My Liptons. So I wanted to come in here and I don't want to be too long, but I wanted to come in here and talk about a few topics because I've noticed there've been certain things that are like, I've been kind of noticing things on the sideline, but I haven't been really commenting on them on, social media because I've been like honestly focused on like politics as of late. But I have been catching things out of the corner of my eye. So I'm going to talk about Zohran and the Democratic Party's stupid reaction to how they're trying to handle this and how they're trying to sabotage Zohran. I want to talk about a little bit of controversy going on with the girls. So, Sabrina Carpenter, Beyonce, I'm going to talk about those two and what's going on with them. And then Wintour stepped down as the Vogue editor-in-chief. And then, honestly, first, let me talk about Timothée Chalamet because Timothée Chalamet, I'm gonna just get him off because y'all know, for the ones that have been my day ones, y'all would know that I don't get the hype about Timothée Chalamet. So we'll talk about that. But before I continue on with this video, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get the watch time hours up. Let's get up to 2,000, like I said. Please share my video if you care. I have so many playlists talking about different topics, pop culture news, political topics, Bollywood. If y'all are interested in that wrestling talk, if y'all are interested in any of those topics, go on my channel at Ronnie Lipton. The playlists are there. You can check it out. And yeah, let's get into this video. First, let's talk about this. I just saw this on Twitter. And I'm just like, girl. So this person, I don't know who this person is, Dennis. And then I don't know who they're saying that like Timothée Chalamet should be James Bond. Listen, okay, before I get to the negatives, before I get to my own bias and stuff like that, I get it. I get why, these people will want Timothée Chalamet to be James Bond. He's the current it boy, I guess you could say, in Hollywood right now. He is one of the money makers, looking at Dune, looking at Wonka. On top of that, the buzz with him and Kylie Jenner. As much as I think that is a PR relationship. But, I think they see that Timothée Chalamet brings a lot of, he also has a female fan base. So it's like, the people want him. The people, it gives me like Robert Pattinson tease, like when Twilight was going, in a way. So it's like they see the craze of that and they want him to be James Bond. Here's my thing. Now, this is where I gotta, bring in my own little personal taste. Personally, for me, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I haven't watched a lot of Timothée Chalamet's work for me to say, oh, he's a great actor, and he could be a great actor. That's probably one of the reasons why. But I'm also someone that is like about aesthetics. You know what I mean? I'm about the aesthetic. I'm about the looks, the body, and everything. To me, Timothée Chalamet does not give me a James Bond. He does not, like, from head to toe. Like, personally, for me, I'm not attracted to him. I don't get the hype with him. And I'm not saying he's ugly. He's just regular. Like, he's regular to me. Like, I can literally go on the street and see, like, five Timothée Chalamets cross the street from me. It's like, he's regular to me. He's a regular looking everyday guy. He doesn't give me like Hollywood super, like, like Hollywood. Oh my God, like the aura. He doesn't give me that. So it's just like, there's that. He doesn't have the build for a James Bond. He's very lean. He doesn't have any muscle. Like, to me, I think this is a bad idea. I get it. Yes, he has a cute little female fan base. They like the rat face. They're into him. But personally, for me, I just think that it's a bad idea to be putting him as James Bond. I think he looks, especially looking at like the cartoons and stuff like that, and looking at the previous actors that played James Bond. Like, come on, like Timothée Chalamet doesn't give me man. Like, that's the thing. Like, Timothée Chalamet gives me boy. Like, he gives me like adolescent. You know what I mean? Like, I need a man. You know what I mean? With some muscle, some masculine energy to play James Bond. Like, and Timothée Chalamet does not give that to me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I just get that vibe from it. Like, he gives me like scrawny middle school, high schooler kind of guy. Like, even though he's a grown man, but like still, like, I don't know. I'm just not into it. But yeah, I think it's a horrible idea. Please pick somebody else. I don't know. Maybe what's his name? Maybe Glenn Plow could be James Bond or something. Maybe him or who else? Who else is popping out here in these streets? I know some people like Jacob Elordi. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about him playing James Bond, but I don't know. I feel like they need to kind of broaden their horizons when it comes to like the James Bond thing, because Timothy Chalamet to me personally would not be my first choice. That's just my opinion. Y'all can tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Next one, I want to talk about Sabrina Carpenter, and there's another one too where it's like I haven't gotten to the hype train with. It's just I'm not into the whole Mary Had a Little Lamb aesthetic with Sabrina Carpenter. I haven't been into her. Like, I don't know, like there's something that's not drawing me to Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I felt like I don't know. It's just for me, I haven't bought into Sabrina Carpenter. And I've noticed that in these past couple of days, she's kind of been getting a little bit of backlash because of like her cover. I did see the cover art, the one where like she's like bent over and then there's like a man holding her hair. And then I didn't see this other cover art, but there's like another picture where it was supposed to be like her album cover and it was like referencing Lolita. I don't know how true that is. And if y'all don't know Lolita, y'all need to go do your own research on that. I don't want to talk too much about some predatory stuff on here. But, they're saying that Sabrina Carpenter has been like putting this like weird, like, oh, like young girl and older man kind of like, oh, like that kind of a vibe fetishy. I don't know, that kind of a stuff in her imagery as of late, and especially with here's the thing. I just feel like, Sabrina Carpenter has always, especially like when she kind of glowed up a little bit more, started going into this pinup doll kind of look, she's been very hypersexual in the way she, especially like because I never really listened to like a full Sabrina Carpenter album. I did see some clips on Twitter and stuff, and like some of the way she dances and stuff like that, like she comes off very, very sexual, so it's like it's like in a way it's like I'm not surprised that she's going by this route of like bowing down, being submissive to a man, old. I think it's the older man stuff that's kind of turning people off. I also think too, because like I think maybe a good amount of Sabrina Carpenter fans are like, they're turned off by like women being, I don't like submissive or like housewife-ish, like, oh, just please a man to do anything and everything for a man. I think that's like a good amount of her fan base that does not like that. So I think that when Sabrina Carpenter does things like that, it kind of turns them off. I don't know. I just think that Sabrina Carpenter should tread lightly with that kind of stuff, because it's like she needs to know what her fan base. Because look at Doja Cat. It's the same thing that Doja Cat did. Remember Doja Cat at first? People were onto Doja. They loved her. Even me, like I was into like her music and stuff like that. But then she went to the devil. She went to the dark stuff and the devil. And doing all that and then getting Baphomets tattooed on it. So it's like people were turned off by that. Ever since then, I feel like Doja Cat hasn't really bounced back. Like even her album, the last album, what was it? Scarlet or something, didn't do well. So it's like I think that Sabrina Carpenter should tread lightly, because she could be another Doja Cat situation if she. But then again, I feel like Sabrina Carpenter, it won't get to that point because Sabrina Carpenter has like some heavy hitters in her camp, like Taylor Swift and those kind of people. And Taylor Swift helped Sabrina Carpenter when I say heavily, heavily. So I just think that she should, tread lightly. But then again, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants. At the end of the day, it's the fans' choice. I always say this. And I talked about this during the whole Blackpink situation with Lisa and the N-word stuff. At the end of the day, it's the fans. If y'all feel like y'all faves are problematic and stuff like that, then stop listening to their music. Stop putting money in their pockets. Put your money where your mouth is at the end of the day. It's like, if y'all just going to be bitching and moaning online and still, listen to the music, they're still going to be. That's why I feel like Sabrina Carpenter, she didn't really care, because didn't Man-Child go #1 on Billboard? So it's like, that's what I mean. Like, it's rage baiting with some of the stuff that she's doing. It's like, all publicity is good publicity to a lot of these celebrities. So it's like, it's up to the fans. If y'all want to continue supporting problematic stuff, if y'all don't want to support problematic stuff, then stop putting money in their pockets, stop listening to the music. It's that simple. So that's all I have to say on that. Next, your favorite, what's your name, B.O.B.? So they're calling him Bob. How did Nikki say that? Listen, Anna Wintour said that she's stepping down from Vogue editor-in-chief, and honestly, I feel like it's a long time coming. I think especially in these last few years, I would say going on to like maybe 5 to 6 years, like American Vogue has not been popping like that. Like the Vogue covers, especially some of the Vogue covers that have been put on, it's just it has not been good. Like if you compare it to like British Vogue and like what is it called? Is it Arabian Vogue? It's called Saudi Arabia Vogue or Vogue Arabia. I think that's what it's called. Vogue Arabia. If you look at that, if you look at Indian Vogue, like those covers and like especially the celebrities that are on the front pages of those Vogue, they look so high fashion, glamour, like avant-garde, beautiful. When it comes to American Vogue, especially these last few years, I don't know, the cover's been looking piss poor. It's been looking piss poor, and it's like there definitely needs to be new leadership. And then on top of that, if you look at the Met Gala, listen, they're gonna have to start being more strict about the Met. Like it's like Anna Wintour just lets anybody in. That's the thing with her now. It's like she just lets anybody into the freaking Met Gala. Half these people don't even know what they're doing. They don't even be on dress code. They look a mess. It's like y'all gonna have to start being strict about these freaking invitations. Like what is going on? So it's like I feel like there's no shade to Anna Wintour, but it's like girl, like it's for the best. I'm glad that she realized it now instead of like waiting to like her deathbed like Queen Elizabeth II. But like, girl, I'm finally glad you realized that it was time to hang it up flat screen with that bob. Okay, so I mean, I would say good riddance, but at the same time, it's like I'm glad that you finally had the wherewithal to kind of be like, okay, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to hang it up. Let me get new leadership in here to kind of spice American Vogue up again, because it's just American Vogue has just not been the same in the past, like I would say 5 to 6 years. It's not been it. So shout out to The Devil Wears Prada. Next, I want to talk about say Beyonce. Okay. Beyonce's been getting a little bit of backlash, I've noticed. Here's a it's like I have so much to say about it. So Beyonce apparently, and I haven't been, I said this in like the last pop culture video that I did. I haven't really been paying attention to a lot of pop culture news because I feel like it hasn't been anything interesting. But I was on TikTok the past 2 days, and apparently Beyonce's been getting a little bit of, because she wore a shirt on her Cowboy Carter tour. I forgot what it said, but it says Buffalo something. Buffalo something. So it had like the American troops on the front, and then the native, I don't know, it's either it's Native Americans or something on the back of the shirt, and it was basically the shirt basically depicted the natives to be like the villains or like the bad guys, while the white American soldiers or something like that were the good guys fighting the evil villain savages, Native Americans or something. And apparently Beyonce wore that shirt and she was repping it on her tour. I think Beyonce, and this is where I feel like, with Beyonce and Jay-Z, I think that they should figure out what they want, right? I think that they should figure out what they want, because they can't. So if you go back to like what 2017, 2016, when she performed at the Super Bowl for a second time with Bruno Mars, she had the whole Black Panther imagery. She had that whole thing, she was ripping the Black Lives Matter. She was doing all that stuff. And it's like, okay, and then on top of that, she was using a lot of Malcolm X quotes too. She was using a lot of she was using the most disrespected woman in America is a black woman. She was using a lot of Malcolm X quotes. And Malcolm X, y'all read Malcolm X's history and stuff like that. Malcolm X was very much so giving like socialist, leftist, hard lefty, anti-capitalist, okay? And he was, anti-colonialism, ready to fight anybody, ready to be down with the empire kind of thing. And Beyonce and Jay-Z were repping that for a while. But then when it was no longer convenient, and it kind of, I guess you could say the whole culture war, I don't know, where they kind of feel like it kind of flipped, that's when it went to, okay, like, I remember Jay-Z said something like, oh, capitalism is kind of, to call me a capitalist is like a slur or something like that. I don't even remember. And it's like now Beyonce, she's, pushing out all these products, and, especially in these kinds of economy times, and the the, it's just inflation is all over the place. Pushing out these products, pushing out these products. Now she wants to do hair, even though it's like you're a singer, so why are you pushing hair care? Hair care products, perfume, and all these different things. And it's like now she's going super duper hardcore, and then on top of that, she supported Kamala Harris, and it's like, and and I get it, there's gonna be some people that's gonna have an issue, but let's be very clear: Kamala Harris was complicit in the genocide that's currently going on in Gaza. The Biden administration was the foundation. That they're the ones that set the foundation for this kind of behavior that the Trump administration is doing. So it's like you come out strong, talking about, so, oh yes, as a mother, I will be supporting Kamala Harris. So it's just like, and without considering the lives of a lot of the Palestinian mothers who lost their children, or the Palestinian mothers who lost their lives. So it's like not being considerate of that. And then it's like, now you did this whole Cowboy Carter tour, and now you repping all this Americana stuff, when it's like, fascism is right here. So it's just like, so I think Beyonce needs to pick a lane. That's personally for me what I want to say to her. I personally, of course, it's the shirt problematic, of course. But it's like she needs to pick her lane. Either she's going to stay in her capitalist imagery and, Americana for life. Yes, let's go to war with Iran kind of, you know what I mean? And you're going to stay there in that lane. But don't play both sides. Don't do the whole Black Panther, anti-colonial. Because if you're gonna be saying all that, then you need to be against the duopoly system in this country. You need to be against imperialism. You need to be because let's be very clear. Malcolm X was for the Palestinian Revolution. He was for the Palestinians. Y'all need to go look that up. So it's like, and on top of that, I don't think Malcolm X will be repping a shirt saying, having American white soldiers in the front and having the evil Native Americans in the back. Buffalo, what was it called? Buffalo Soldier or something like that. So it's like, you need to pick your side. Either you're going to be anti-capitalist and repping socialist ideals and ideology and being on the left and fighting for the working class and stuff like that, or you're going to be capitalist. Here's the thing. When you look at people like Rihanna, and this is why I also noticed that Rihanna's also getting a little bit of backlash, because like they're saying that her Puma is associated with the Zionist regime, and that sort of thing. But here's the thing. I've never seen Rihanna rep like some leftist, like socialist, like anti-colonialist stuff the way Beyonce and Jay-Z have done. So that's why it's like, in a way, I do notice that there's some beehives that feel like, oh, well, Rihanna doesn't get the same amount of backlash that Beyonce gets. So why? And I'm like, Rihanna's never really dibbled and dabbled like that in some Black Panther stuff, in some Black Panther imagery. That's why at least we can claim that Rihanna's being a full capitalist. She's always been that. She's never really used imagery of like Malcolm X, or used quotes of Malcolm X, or used like Black Panther imagery the way Beyonce did. And Beyonce leaned heavily on that. We need to be honest. She leaned heavily on that in 2017, 2018. Especially 2020, when the whole Black BLM protests were going on. So it's just like, Beyonce just needs to pick her lane. Either she wants to be a full-blown capitalist, repping Americana, on some like patriotism kind of thing, or she's going to be on some like anti-colonialist, fight to the death, F these, imperialists and apartheid and stuff like she needs to pick her lane and stay there. And clearly, from what I'm seeing, she wants to stay in that capitalist lane. So it's like, if you're going to stay in that capitalist lane, then stay there. Don't dibble and dabble in shit where people on the ground are like fighting for their lives and fighting to have like this system to work for the working class people. Because then you're being disingenuous, then you're playing in people's face and you're gaslighting people. So that's just my personal opinion. She is getting a little bit of backlash, especially on TikTok, because that's where I noticed it on TikTok, because I didn't know about it, because I looked at Pop-Its, I didn't even see it there. So people on TikTok have been pointing that out about her. So listen, at this point, it's just like, I just need to, if it was me, these celebrities will be out of politics. Like, if it were me, I wouldn't have none of these celebrities comment on politics. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, we don't want to hear nothing from you guys. It's like, just do y'all music, do y'all acting and stuff like that, and get out of my face. Because it's like, there's no point. Like, y'all talk out of both sides of your mouth at times. It's like, and a lot of times y'all come off as hypocrites. It's like, one thing for this, another thing for this. One thing for this, another thing for this. It's like, It's ridiculous at this point. But anyway, y'all guys tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Or who knows? Maybe the Beehive might feel a way, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, guys, tell me what y'all guys think. Next, let's lastly, speaking of socialism, let's talk about Zohran real quick before I end this video. Y'all, the crash outs have been crazy. The crash outs have been crazy, but that's expected from the Republican side. But and you know, I'm not shocked by the Democratic establishment because it's just like, but at the same time, it's like, damn, like y'all still don't learn. Like y'all haven't learned from Kamala Harris's loss. Y'all haven't learned from anything. So it's like literally what the Democratic establishment is trying to do, especially after Zohran winning the primary. They either want Andrew Cuomo to run again as an independent. The thing is, I don't even know what Andrew Cuomo wants. It's like, I feel like there's one part where I hear like he's not running again in November because he don't want to take away votes from Eric Adams, but at the same time, I'm hearing that he's still gonna run as an independent in the general election. At first, I was a little bit nervous about that because you know, that could probably hurt Zohran. But then there are other people that are saying that like if Andrew Cuomo were to run again as an independent on the ballot in the general election, that can actually split the vote between Eric Adams, and then Zohran can probably come up on top. So it's like, for me, it's like, if that's the case, then shoot, Andrew Cuomo, come into the general election, okay? We need some change over here, okay? And he might be the freaking, the vehicle to bring that change. But the fact that the Democratic establishment has not learned, and shout out to this person, okay? Because they, I saw this and I absolutely agree. It says here, the establishment Dems lost 2 out of the 3 presidential elections, lost the House and Senate, lost the Supreme Court 6-3, failed to codify Roe or voting rights or universal health care or immigration reform or repeal Citizens United or a living wage or prosecute Trump, but their unholy outrage is reserved for the brown Muslim immigrant who had the audacity to run and win on lowering groceries, rent, and travel and childcare costs. And they wonder why they have a 25% approval rating in which nearly 70% want new party leadership. And that says it all. That says it all, because you literally have people like Kirsten Gillibrand and a lot of these liberal Zionists, you know, smearing Zohran, saying that, oh, let's try to rat fuck him and let's try to, you know, let's put money into like a Republican in the general election, or let's, like, even though we don't like Eric Adams or Andrew Cuomo, let's just put money into them and let's beat this Democratic socialist. This is why, personally, for me, and I've said this before in the past, this is why I believe the current Democratic Party, outside of the current Democratic Party, the establishment Democratic Party, is the Republican Party, okay? To me, that's how I view them. The current Democratic Party is the Republican Party. The current Republican Party is actually the freaking fringe far right coalition. The Trump and them and his bases, that's the far right. The Democratic Party, as it stands right now, that is the Republican Party. People like Zohran Mamandi calling himself a democratic socialist, to me, is moderate. Because if Zohran Mamandi really, really wants to be on some like socialism type stuff, yeah, that's the thing. Y'all not even ready for like some real socialist type things to really help the people. So that's why Zohran gotta kind of walk on eggshells and kind of has to like, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna lower this, but I also need to appease this. And then he's walking on eggshells right now with some of the things that he's saying. So to me, Zohran comes off, yes, he's the title, you know, it's the title, but his policies are it's very popular. So it's moderate. It's moderate to me. And I think that it's so crazy to me how the Democratic Party has lost. Literally, you keep losing. Hillary Clinton lost. Freaking Kamala lost. Joe Biden is like, y'all don't learn from anything. Y'all don't want people bringing in new ideas and fresh ideas. And it's like, and y'all gonna continue to lose elections. People like Zohran is supposed to be, those are the people that you're supposed to be embracing. He has a whole, these are the people that he can build coalitions clearly looking at the primaries. He wants literally 3 out of the 5 boroughs of New York City. And mind you, these are the same Democratic establishment people that put $30 million into Andrew Cuomo's campaign in the primary. Mind you, Zohran only raised $9 million and he still won. He still whooped that ass. He still opened a can of whoop ass on Andrew Cuomo in the primaries. 3 out of the 5 boroughs. Andrew Cuomo couldn't even win, not even 3. The Democratic Party is. This is why I'm an independent. I'm an independent thinker. I can't align myself with the Democratic Party because it's like they continuously. They did this with Bernie Sanders. They sabotaged Bernie at the DNC. The DNC sabotaged. Hell, they even did it to even though David Hogg is like, he's kind of also, a little low-key establishment. But like lately I've been liking some of the tweets that he's been putting out. But like they pushed out David Hogg because David Hogg said that like he wants to primary the current Democrats that are in there because they haven't been effective, which is true. So it's like the Democratic Party are going to continue to have, if they don't want people like Zohran and quote-unquote Democratic, social Democrats and stuff like that, then y'all need to get y'all shit together. And y'all need to embrace y'all base, at least with the Trump people and the MAGA people. At least with Trump, he embraces his base. He embraces the MAGA folks. He embraces his voters. The Democratic Party does not embrace their own voters. They don't. And this is why you're going to have this conflict. And the fact that you guys are trying to sabotage him because he doesn't believe in capitalism. What has capitalism done for? Capitalism has done nothing but fuck us over, made the rich richer and the poor poor. Let's be very clear on that. We need something else. We need something else. So it's just like, to me, I think this is a great thing. I'm so happy that Zohran won. And now even more so, like at least like in the primaries, I was like a little unsure. I was like, okay, he could win, but it might be by small margin. But the fact that he won by 8 points, I'm like, okay, I truly now have faith in Zohran that he will win the general election. No matter what they throw at this man, everything that they will throw at this man. Mind you, they threw it at him in the primaries. I have my full faith that he will win the general election on November 4th. So New Yorkers, do be proud on November 4th. I know it will go to him, because Eric Adams is also horrible. Eric Adams is like, I think his poll numbers, he's one of his approval rating is horrible in New York. So, but yeah, but I think that it's crazy that the Democratic Party won't. Mind you, Zohran is so charismatic. He can talk. He's not like a robot, like compared to these other politicians. Like he actually and mind you, he has no issue speaking to people who disagree with him. Literally, I saw a video the other day where a woman comes up to Zohran saying that, oh, you're going to lose the election because you don't support Israel. Like, and mind you, he didn't lose his cool. He didn't feel uncomfortable. He still had a conversation with them. Democrats need to be able to have conversations with people that disagree with them. So that's just that. I think that if Zohran wins this general, I mean, people are already freaking out about the primaries. You would have thought that Zohran won the actual election on the 24th, the way people were crashing out. But if he wins the general election, it's going to be a referendum about what's to come in the midterms. And honestly, what's to come in the presidential election in 2028. So anyway, y'all, that is just my thoughts on that. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers. If you like this video, please share it. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.